Can you repeat what you said in the newsletter? I can't, but I'll try to come up with something similar. Here's an attempt. So what's being suggested is the cycle of seeking seemingly operates on a perpetual cycle of evading pain and relentlessly chasing pleasure, seemingly all driven by an illusory sense of a self. It's a continuous loop of desire, wanting something, not wanting it, and then trying to eliminate the desire altogether, which paradoxically is still a form of desire. This loop seems infinite. However, the entity that experiences these desires, the self, the me, the mind, whatever you might want to call it, is fundamentally non-existent. It has never existed and never will. It's merely a figment of imagination, a construct of the mind. And ironically, the mind is also a complete fabrication. So that's another loop. This self, me, whatever you might want to call it, is like a ghost haunting with thoughts, echoing nothing at all. That possesses sensations, feelings, labels them as mine to make a sense of separation, like a self-driven preservation, but lacking substance or true existence. It doesn't exist. It's akin to a mystery trying to solve another mystery, an illusion endeavoring to dispel another illusion. The seeming resistance or the acceptance of what is seen as a reality is simply a survival mechanism, an attempt to preserve this illusory self against what already is, what has never been separated, what has never been two. Just this simplicity, this directness without an opposite. But freedom unconditionally is already, with or without you, sense or no sense, self or no self, it already is. So the assumption that there is a separate self with the choice is nothing but an imaginary doership. The belief that there is an individual that is separate from what is not to triggers a quest for self-improvement, maybe a path to find a truer higher self, or at times leads to the desire to dissolve the self that it seeks to figure out, improve, or dissolve. In the intricate appearance of this illusion, this apparent existence, individuals appear to navigate a world where the contours of free will, choice, and consequential action seemingly shape the path. But there's no path. So this illusory reality is woven with threads of acceptance. It's almost like always accepted, never questioned. An assumption, a belief, and without a doubt, does not question the illusory reality that it seemingly fabricates over and over again. So under the general assumption that usually starts with the I am or mine is basically just an assumption, not by anyone, but just something that comes up like a dream, like an imagination, like a thought, like a feeling, like a sensation, like a sense of a self. It's just something that seemingly is appearing. In simpler terms, it appears that apparent individuals pursue pleasure and pain, often guided by the notion that an intelligent effort can improve their lives, a choice seemingly. It becomes the steering wheel of life that cannot be driven or controlled or manipulated, leaving the individual frustrated and tired of seeking for a better life dictated by its own delusions of what life should look like. This principle appears to drive much of individuals and seemingly the collective. Although there's no individual, hence there's also no collective. Life, according to an illusory self, often leads to discontent. An individual seeks for happiness in relationships to mask the fear of being alone. It seeks for wealth to hide the assumption of lack. It seeks for liberation under the false belief that it is not free. But there is no one to be free or not to be free already. It's just freedom appearing as it is. Freedom already is with or without you. So some individuals seek deeper meaning and comfort in life, leading to the emergence of religious beliefs and the quest for spiritual enlightenment. Some characters desire what the ultimate is, the realization that there's no one. But who's to realize that? However, while their pursuits may offer temporary relief, they may also feel constraining and fail to provide lasting fulfillment. This inadequacy might stem from the apparent mind's assumption of a separate world, resulting in the fabrication of a self and the illusion of agency. So in simpler terms, what seems to be driven to seek, to desire, does not have any source, does not have any ownership, does not have any individual behind it. There's a seeming idea that there's a choice that stems from an idea that there's an individual, that stems from a belief that there's separation. So it just keeps on going and going and going and going. And seemingly, there is just this never ending, like a Ferris wheel that keeps on going up and down, up and down. But there's no one in the Ferris wheel. It's just a cyclical pattern of what we call this life, this illusion. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. When it's up, the character wants to be, wants to go down. When it's down, the character wants to go up, always wanting what is not. In that cyclical appearance of looping, there is this hypnotic illusion that there is free, there's free will and agency, and trying to control something that already is. So there's no offer of any solution here because there's no solution, because trying to find a solution to end the loop is just another loop. Trying to even deny is just another loop. So what can be done about it? Neither resistance or acceptance. It's just simply what is. Although there's no one to be at peace, it's being at peace with peace as it is. Peace can appear as chaos. Peace can appear as cycles. Peace can appear as anything, but there's a peace that cannot be understood. There's a peace that is always permanent, not as a knowing, not as an experience, but what simply is. And even calling it peace is too much because it cannot be comprehended or cannot be realized, so to speak, because it already is. This unwavering peace, this unwavering freedom, this love that has no two is all that there is. And the rest is noise. The rest is chaos. The rest is distraction. So what already is this unfathomable, undeniable isness that goes boom and seemingly slaps the character across the face over and over and over again, that it is already what it is, no matter what it is. And if you have any questions, please go ahead. Thank you so much for coming. And this jacket's getting hot. I just wore it for St. Patty's Day, so I'm going to take it off.
Celebrating your Irish roots.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, there's this pattern that seems to come up.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's what?
It's all a pattern.
Everything's a pattern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every illusion is a pattern, basically.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And there's this one pattern that is has done too much seeking and is stuck in this non-duality. I don't get it. And it's this like sinking feeling. I'm never gonna fucking get it. I'm always gonna be
Yes.
miserable. Blah blah blah. But
That's the
like
loop.
that's it too.
That's it too. And that's a loop that keeps on creating meaning for something that is meaningless, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so instead of like buying into the loop, it's like dying into the loop.
Yes. That there's no one in the loop. The loop is just the loop. There's no individual in the loop, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So meaning that it's not about accepting it or rejecting it, because that just creates more loops.
That's still the loop.
Yeah, that's still the loop. Yeah. it's it's just it's just a never ending loop. It's just wild, right? And even trying to catch the loop is still the loop, right? Trying to get rid of the loop is still the loop. So it's the same thing as saying that trying to get rid of the illusion is still an illusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like it's been like,
And it becomes really neurotic, right? You're like, how do I get out of this, right? It's like,
yeah,
it's but it does. The simple thing is, it has nothing to do with you.
because there's no you.
Yeah. And that
Um,
before that becomes a loop again, you know what I'm saying? It's not a belief, right? It's just really simple without any kind of,
yeah.
yeah. It's so wild, right? Because but it's also simple. Oh, so simple. It's so wild, but it's unfathomable. It's just like, what the heck, right? So
Well,
meaning that
it's
the moment that we think we have something to do with it, then we're stuck in that loop again.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so the like, because what you were saying in your intro just now about like things temporarily working, so everything works, like things do work temporarily,
Yeah.
and then there's this thing of like getting, not believing your thoughts, getting rid of thoughts, working through stuff,
Yeah.
creating a flow, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that is nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Because you know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong or right? But most teachings out there just keeps you in the loop, because it includes you doing things, or not doing things. It's like, I tried everything as a character, right? As a seeker, right? So I'm like, okay, what if I accept this? What if I write gratitude journals to accept whatever it is, right? 10 books later of gratitude journal, and what did it lead me to? More suffering, right? Or, you know what? Meditating for hours and hours, rejecting any thoughts, right? Or simply accepting and everything. So the thing is that it's so simple that it has nothing to do with you, but for the individual, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
impossible, right? Because it becomes this idea of like, what do I do? Well, I won't do anything then. But that's still you doing, not doing anything. It just keeps on this merry-go-round, right? It just keeps on going and going and going, and you're like, I want out. And then someone will tell you from these meetings that there's no one in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and it's funny because it's like,
And that
I
should
think
just
the
be a
whole,
full stop, right? That should be like, okay. But when that becomes a belief again, it becomes another loop. And
yeah.
before you know it, you're in the right again, right? It's kind of like, it's wild. It's madness. Kind of like the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of, yeah.
And the same
Yeah.
thing is desire. The same thing is, thought. The same thing is action, right? Action and action is the same thing. Desire, no desire, it's the same thing. Attachment on attachment is the same thing. There's this
But there's no,
tendency. Yeah, there's a tendency, right, for especially with teachings and everything, right, to latch on to one thing. Then I will not have any
yeah.
more attachments. I did that, right? So I gave up my wealth, I gave up my everything, even at one point, sex, everything that you could think of, right? Like, so that I can be one. But it always involves an individual, doesn't it? Right? There's something that I'm doing that will get me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's nothing wrong with it, is
No,
what I've
no, no,
realized. It
no.
just doesn't really work
It
at the
doesn't
end.
work.
Like,
Yes.
it's like you can feel a little bit better. And I do credit so many things for feeling better, but I kind of live in fear, if I'm honest,
Yeah, because
of the
there's always
depression coming
the
back, of the anxiety coming back,
yeah,
of whatever. You know?
because the individual is always living for the next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if pain is just pain without the individual, then it doesn't exist really. If pleasure is just pleasure without the individual, it doesn't exist really, right? So it, for example, if it gets like happy and everything, so it now thinks, I'm like, how do I maintain this? How do I
Yeah.
hold on to this? Right. So
Yeah.
rather than, seeing that this seemingly happiness also might fade and it will come up again, right? It's like chasing clouds, right? I really like that cloud. I'm going to chase it. Good luck. You know?
But what if, like, when we're in those really heavy states, or when we've had experiences of just such mental
You know
anguish?
what? And you'll hear this over and over again, right? Some characters, and this is just a story, right? That seems to be the entry point, although there's no
Yeah.
entry point.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You'll hear it over
And
and over again, right? Some people,
yeah, and
I've talked to a lot of
yeah.
people in one-on-one, right? And a lot of them are like, come to one-on-one because they're just so desperate. They're in so much pain and everything. And
Yeah.
and they want me to relieve the pain. And that, what's being suggested is that's it too. And then
Yeah.
when it clicks, even someone that I was talking to a couple days ago was in the middle of major grieving, right? Goes, I should wait, but someone just passed away and everything. I'm like, when? Goes, just earlier today. So
Wow.
book the one-on-one, like immediately, thinking that, you know what, I've seen this one-on-ones maybe, but but the pain is it. But there's no
Yeah.
one
Well,
behind the
yeah.
pain. See, that's the thing, right?
And the only way to see that there's no one behind the pain is almost to go towards the pain, not
To
that
go
anyone going towards
through it.
the pain.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of this thing where it's like, for me,
It's
the
almost like the individual's afraid that if you go through it, that it doesn't exist. It's always afraid
yeah,
of its non-existent.
yeah,
So it tries to claim the
yeah,
narrative, tries to claim the
yeah,
story, tries to
yeah,
collect mine, 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 mine. Right? It's like when we're little babies, we learn how to say mine
yeah.
when we've never
And
owned
that
anything.
tension, apparent
Stickiness.
tension,
Yeah,
yeah, is
yeah.
what keeps, it's like
It's
this, it's
it's
like this
it's
whole structure, house of cards. Like, this keeps this in place, and the fear of this keeps this in
it
place, but
keeps
then
it keeps
suddenly,
the duality kind of like, like the loop, right? This or that.
yeah,
So it just loops this and that, right? So
yeah,
it never breaks from that cycle because it's caught up in the either escaping from the pain
yeah,
or maintaining the it's always a doership. So it's really simple, right? When it's seen that there's really no choice or no will to do that because there's no one
oh
to do
yeah.
that, yeah, then it's kind of like, okay, you know what, it's just what is, it's just what's happening.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like,
Thank you.
it's just, I can't really talk about it
Yeah.
in a way. So
It almost kind of like leads the character speechless. We're like, okay. It almost like gives
yeah.
up the fight because it has no one to fight, right? It doesn't have any more resistance. It's just what is.
It's,
Dot
and
dot
I
dot
think
dot dot infinitely.
it's so loving. Like,
Yeah.
it's because it's absolute acceptance of all of the parts that I thought were unacceptable.
There it
Like,
is. There
that's
it is.
yeah,
Yeah. There it
yeah,
is. And there was another one-on-one that I did, and basically said that all I did, Emerson, was self-improvement. And I thought the ultimate self-improvement was to get rid of the self. And I'm like, how can you get rid of a self that's not there? How can you improve something that's not there? Meaning what appears is perfection no matter what it is.
Yeah. Which
You
is
might
what that's
you
the
might
essence
think
of
it's
all the
not.
teaching.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes around in the way of holding on to or getting rid of. It's always about correction, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I can see this, the seeking is just a total, just a cycle of pain,
It
pleasure,
is.
pain. Like
It is, yeah.
it's not different. Oh,
No.
it's amazing. All right.
And
I'll shut
it
up now.
becomes okay. And it just becomes
No,
this new
no.
it just becomes this neurosis, right? It's gonna like, it's almost like a completely delusional break, right? Because I'm like, okay, you know what? I especially when someone gets a glimpse, right? That
It's the
usually
worst.
starts that cycle, right? It's kind of like, why did I listen to this? You know, why did I get into this? Because and they have this wonderful appearance that there is no appearance. Basically, there's just this emptiness, or I don't know. And they seek for that because they want to hold on to that appearance, but that's just another appearance. It's just another opposite.
I am grateful that I've had them though.
Oh,
Like
likewise, yeah. I was, if there was a reality show, I'd be kind of like the glimpse chaser, like those storm chaser.
the ultimate high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But it's basically even like seeking it as a self-preservation act, because the self now that's not there, the me that's not
Yeah.
there, wants to have it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh.
when the apparent and impossible appeared, as there was no self to witness it. It was just is. And the apparent character even scurries back and tries to grab it. They're like, oh, what was that? I want that. It quickly
Which is so
inserts.
sweet.
It is. It is, because it doesn't
So
want to
sweet.
die.
Yeah. It's
It
like,
doesn't
oh,
want
it's
to
just
let
so
go.
sweet. Of course, spirituality is going to be where it ends up because it's like the promises are eternal.
Yes.
Like, you'll be eternally happy. Yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Even though suffering is it, how is it supposed to end suffering? I can't comprehend what it even means that suffering is it. It's really simple, right? Suffering is it. Let's just even take it a little back, right before suffering happening. Pain is it. Meaning that what seems to appear is it. It's what is appearing as pain. It's what is appearing as whatever. And the suffering happens when it tries to avoid it, when it tries to get rid of it, when it thinks it has the option, when it thinks it has the agency, when it thinks it thinks. So it just creates a whole bunch of ideas, and it goes into this neurotic tendency that I want what is not. But it creates this split, seemingly, right? It's always what is, but when the character comes in, it is not what is. It becomes a judgment, basically, or a perception that it is not. And to simplify it, right? There is no suffering when there's no one behind it. The wheel does not go. When it's seen in the immediacy, in the directness, that the pain does not have an individual behind it, then there is this it's almost like, there's this seeming kind of like, how do I call it, an idea that there's something that can be done when there's nothing that can be done, because kind of like what Laura said, it's always it, no matter what it is. It's always it, even if it's not it. It's always it. So it could be the most tremendous pain, that's it. It could be this blissful feeling, that's it. And everything in between, right? Thank you.
I was just saying that there is not an it like an it.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Again, we're just using words, right? So it's so
Yeah.
funny, right? Characters, the individuals, we get caught up in words so much, right? And words are all made up.
Yeah, because
It's
you cannot say, you say pain, suffering, or pleasure, but it's
yeah,
not an it in at the end. It doesn't. It's just like like you say the words.
yeah,
It's not an it, like
yeah,
a formation of something in a way.
yeah. It's a no thing.
Yeah, even if we
Yes.
try to say names and labels and all this stuff, I feel it's not like an it.
Yes, that's right.
Even if we say this is it, like what?
Yeah. No, that was my curse for quite a while. Not saying
Yeah,
this is it. I hated that. Every time,
yeah,
every time someone said that, I'm like, I don't want to hear it.
yeah. This is it, or this is not it, or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's not an it. Like,
yeah,
oh, where we go from here? Oh,
exactly. Yeah.
yes,
Gracias. Gracias.
yes, Ati. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace of the glimpse like deep sleep, absence of me. Yeah. And there are many moments in this apparent appearance, right? In this apparent appearance of reality that there is simply just, walking, talking, laughing. And but it goes unnoticed, right? Because there's really no thoughts sometimes when that happens. But when the moment that there is a seeming um, traffic of thoughts, when it seems very, very, very dense and everything, then there's a problem. Then there is suffering. Then there is meaning, and there's duality. But the thought is just a thought made up of a thought to maintain a thought. An illusion to maintain illusion by making up more illusions. Can it be replaced with the word everything is energy? You can do that. That's completely all right. But that's just another saying. For the most effective non-duality meeting to ever happen, nothing will be said. Because there's always tries to find meaning or tries to, you know, there is this tendency for individuals to hold on to phrases, to hold on to definitions, to hold on to belief systems, because that's all that they have. Without a belief system, there's no individual that exists. Without an assumption, it's just innocence again, right? Or you can call it energy, right? But the moment that the character holds on to saying, especially repeated sayings over and over, even my sayings, right? If that's why I keep on trying to not use emptiness. Because all of a sudden I get like a whole bunch of emails like, what do you mean by emptiness? I mean nothing by it. It's like just a fleeting moment, like a ephemeral, something that is just, it's like a wind, a wisp of a wind, something that just passes, a word that just seems to create um, this stamp on this immediacy that cannot be held, right? So what's being said here, there's this seeming infinite flow that doesn't have a source, that does not have any kind of definition, and yet it appears to get stamped by these words that are appearing. But the most prominent thing that is in these meetings is the emptiness, the empty words, the silence that appears. But no one listens to the silence, and they pay attention to the words. But the words are the also keeps the seeking going. What does it mean by that? I don't mean anything. But thank you. So why does the me avoid pain and pursue pleasure? Um, that will lead more into ideas that there's a me. That's what is being said here, right? It just creates this loop again, right? The more that there, but this is a story, right? That's why, if you notice this talk, usually there's a disclaimer that it's just a suggestion. So the suggestion here is that there is this tendency it's almost like the character does not exist, so it looks for, like, look over there, the next. Let's go to the next. Because in the immediacy, in the directness of pain, or just the simplicity of peace, there's no individual that exists outside of a thought, of course. It's just what is. It's just what is. So when there's, for example, there's a pain, the character seems to go to the next of, how do I get rid of this pain? There's nothing wrong or right with the thoughts of, like, oh, I don't want this pain anymore. It's just what is. But seemingly what appears is that when there is a claiming and an ownership, and especially trying to control what is, then it creates this neurotic tendency of trying to avoid things, trying to bypass it. And that's usually when spiritual bypassing comes, right? It's just what is. And even when there's a glimpse, seemingly when there's this bliss, this moment of clarity, right? There's this clarity, and there's just, everything seems to be perfect. The tendency of the character individual is kind of like, how do I hold on to this? I'm hoping that this will be there tomorrow. So it always chases the next when there's no next. Here it feels like it and the illusion are the same, only there's not really an illusion, but my mind takes it and makes it equal to this thing called the illusion, so that it can have something called understanding of what it is. Yes, that's awesome there, the way you said. I'll repeat it. Here it feels like it and the illusion are the same, only there's not really an illusion, but my mind takes it and makes it equal to this thing called the illusion, so that it can have something called understanding of what it is. The illusion is that there's no illusion. The paradox is that there's no paradox. The mystery is that there's no mystery. But seemingly the character tends to do is to understand it. So it inserts itself into the mystery by trying to solve it. It tries to get rid of the illusion by the attempt to get rid of the illusion. But the illusion is trying to get rid of the illusion. Therefore, it's also illusory. The mystery is trying to get rid of the mystery. Therefore, it's just a mystery. So there's no way out of it, because there's no in it. There's no outside and there's no in, and it's just all boom, bam, boom. It's just this immediacy. Insert pause here, although there's no pause. Is it possible to let go of thoughts, not by thinking about it, but by relaxing and focus of attention? Does it have anything to do with dissolving the I? That's fine in a dream. You know what I'm saying? That's perfectly all right. I used to do that all the time. But but flip it a little bit. But what if there's no thoughts to let go of? Meaning, if thoughts are seen as just this ephemeral appearance, just this seeming fleeting appearance, that's neither this or that. It's just what is. It's just something that comes and goes. So by the trying to let go of thoughts just reinforces it, because it's made real when it's not real. It's made important when it's not important. It's made relevant when it's not really relevant. So it's just playing in duality. But I'm not opposed to relaxing and focusing the attention in meditation, right? If it gives quietude in the dream, why not, right? Why not? But when it becomes a crutch, like this is an experience. What my experience is, because I was a meditation teacher for more than a decade, and I was a meditation junkie, basically, right? So the character was addicted to trying to quiet the mind. But when the harsh things happen, like, like the intensity of feelings and emotions, and it's avoided, it intensifies it actually. There's no I to dissolve already. That's what I mean by it's accepting or rejecting it. It's just going into the thought level. When it's seen that the thoughts are just illusory, and it's also it, then there's nothing to get rid of. It's just what is. It's just what is. For the thought, what I'm saying, for the thinker, it always tries to come up with something, a solution. It's perfectly as it is. What comes, goes. Everything is coming and going. Thoughts come and they go. The sun seemingly comes and goes, but it never goes away, really. And it's not even there at the same time. But if you want to add to that, please go ahead. How did it come that you do what you are doing now, like group calls, individual calls? Is it free of intention? There's really no one behind it. It's funny. The story is this, it's kind of funny, right? It's almost like an accidental. I had no intention to speak about this. I was so happy just being behind the scenes, hosting speakers, hosting events and everything. And one day, one speaker could not make it, did not show up, and someone put me on the spot, and then I started speaking, and somehow the passion came of speaking about this. Somehow I took some time off from work, and somehow this happens. Is a speaking just kind of like becomes, but there's really no one choosing it. There's a thought of choice in the dream. There's going to be this idea that someone's choosing it, but without any thoughts, everything is just seemingly happening as it is automatically, without any free will or choice. But in the relative, if you want to talk about relative, there seems to be an intention to put on this meeting, to talk and to smile and to talk to people and everything. But if you go behind it, there's really no one doing it outside of a thought. Again, in the relative level and a thought level but there are really no levels as well. There seems to be something called free will or choice, but there's no one behind the free will or choice. It just happens. And I don't know if you've been to my other meetings. It's been, I guess it's been talked about over and over again. If there's free will or choice, there were scientists that did 3 decades of studies and still can't find free will or choice. Without a thought, without the assumption or belief, everything is just happening as it is. Like, for example, this talking right now, there's no thought behind it. Somehow these words come in and out of this silence without thinking about it. It's the same thing that happens when you talk. You think about it that you're talking about something, but that seems to come in time, meaning that the time is illusory. So there's an illusory sense of perception, an illusory sense of choice, but it's just an illusion as well. But trying to figure it out, good luck. Right? You'll probably spend 3 decades to find that there's really no free will or choice as well. But thank you for that question. I know that thoughts come and go, but I feel they create my reality. For example, I don't make the right choice with correct thinking about the situation. I might not get the girl I like. I know the thoughts come and go, but I feel like they create my reality. Okay. What if, okay, this is just a suggestion, right? What if the belief, the assumption is also illusory? What if the belief is just a bunch of thoughts again? So basically, a thought is to maintain a thought, to believe that the thought is real. Even the appearance of choice is just another assumption, another belief. Without the thought, there's no free will or choice. It's just what seems to appear. It's just what seems to happen. Um, it's quite simple, right? Um, when there are no thoughts, is there a you? Is there a choice? Seemingly, the choice, the you, the belief, the assumption only comes in thoughts. And when there's a sensation or a feeling, the moment that it arises, the thought stamps it as that, well, this is my intuition. This is my perception. This is my truth. But if you see that what's behind that is just another thought, then it's just quite a beautiful prank. It's just a thought maintained by a thought to maintain a thought that this is real, but real is also a thought. If you would like to jump on, Guy, or Guy, if you would like to talk about that, please go ahead. And perhaps someone would call that channeling in a certain narrative, awareness, aware of speaking, just what's happening. But that's just another thought, see? That requires a two. The thought is always to create this division that there is a thinker and there is a thought. But what is often missed is that the I, the me, the self is just the thought. Even the sense, the moment that there is a thought that attaches to it, it becomes my sense of self, my sense of separation, when it's just a sense that there's seemingly just a thought behind it. When the thoughts become irrelevant, when the thoughts seemingly just comes and goes as if like snow or rain and everything, or it's like in demand when you're in shopping, then everything just appears as it is. There's going to be thoughts that, you know what, this might be kind of like an appearance of me making choices and everything, but that's just another thought. Really simple, really, really simple. But if anyone wants to jump ahead and talk about that, I love conversations about nothing. How then is the prank of thoughts related directly to the girl being with you physically near you or not? If you want to jump ahead, if you want to clarify that, I don't really understand the question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Guy, if you want to speak so that we can have a conversation about it. It's best responded, I guess, with the conversation. Or not. Basically, the thought is just irrelevant. So the thought will try to keep on coming up, right? That this is real or not real. But there's nothing real or not real. It's just what is. The thought seems to create this dualistic appearance of what is and what isn't. So it will keep on going. It will just keep on reinforcing thoughts over and over and over again. When it's seen that the thought is just coming from a thought, meaning that it's just not there's no reality to it. Because even reality is just a thought. So it will just keep on going in a circle. It will just keep on going on a loop of thoughts. Thoughts seeking thoughts. Thoughts looking for answering thoughts. When thoughts are just what is. Even physically near or not is just a thought. You can also call it just what is. Really simple. It's just what is. It's just as it is. What kind of pizza? Some had a pizza related comment there, and I love pizza.
I don't even know, some mozzarella with some stuff on, with some spinach. I'm not sure what it is, but I add also some stuff. It is like kiss the chef.
Yes. I like margarita. Just simple basil and,
Yeah, like that. But it has a bit of I guess spinach or something on top also. It's gluten free. It's like stuff.
Nice.
It's best.
Are you going to release the video from the last meeting? Yes, I'm sorry. It was just Friday, right? So yeah, I haven't had a chance yet. Sorry. I'll release this one too. Yeah. Thank you. The meeting's not even over yet. Like, are you going to release? That's what I mean. It's always looking for the next, right? Oh, okay. The person said I did not catch the introduction. That's why. No worries. No worries. Yeah. But you missed nothing at the same time. I just had a pop of clarity during the intro, and now I'm trying to figure out what you said. That's the dilemma, right? So it's trying to comprehend something that is already what is. There's the introduction. I think I was trying to explain that it's just a cyclical appearance of this or that. It's just this seeming avoidance of pain and a seeming kind of like a chasing of pleasure. And it's all powered by this illusory sense of self, of trying to understand, trying to figure it out, trying to control, trying to manipulate, meaning it's all mind stuff. But there's really no mind. That's what's being expressed here, right? It's just so simple. If there's no mind, then all the thoughts are also illusory. Then all of the appearance is also illusory. Then all of the sensations, all of the senses, all of the feelings are illusory. So therefore, the one that's asking the questions, the one that's sensing, the one that's experiencing is also illusory. When it's said that it's all an illusion, there's not one that's real and the rest is an illusion. So even the witnessing is an illusion. Even the observing is an illusion. Even the words is an illusion. Even the thoughts are illusion, right? But the illusion is not like that, because the illusion that this is real. So the illusion will keep on coming up with illusion to maintain its reality. But reality is just another thought. It's just an illusion. It's just a concept. And it tries to maintain that. But in the directness, in the immediacy, when you say that all that there is just this, then there's really no room for the illusion. There's really no room for imagination, because it simply is already. Not as a comprehension, not as an understanding. It's just what is. Thank you for the question. Oh, who's that one? Oh, Corey. Hi, Corey.
Hi, Emerson. Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing quite well, really.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah,
The
still
health
got
is
a bit.
good?
It's getting better. Yeah, just still
Oh,
pretty tired. Not much energy, but it's a slow process.
yeah.
Much better.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
much better.
good. You
Yeah.
look very light.
Good. Yeah. Oh,
That's good. I'm
just,
happy.
just thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say, well, two things. I loved it when you said, it's just ideally it would be just to have the Zoom meetings and nobody says anything.
Yeah.
No speak.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I love to speak. However, anyway, yeah, that just kind of thought, yeah, that sounds lovely. But also, I just wanted to ask you on a practical note.
Yeah.
Was the recordings you used to send send them on an email
Yes.
and the Zoom links, but I don't get any emails anymore.
Oh, I don't know why, because I keep on adding you because I keep on seeing, I try to limit, the small meetings to like about 150 emails and you're in it. I'm not
I
sure.
never
And there's many people actually that are not getting the emails because I really like the intimacy of these meetings. I don't want it to be I have a big meeting at noon. And this is what I love, to be honest with you. And
yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't know how to maybe I'll open up a new server, so that a new email server again, because
yeah.
I do send it to you. You're part of that list, right? So
Never
um
get it.
never get it.
No,
Okay. I
no.
I get a lot of people that's messaging me that too. So there must be something that's happening with the emails that
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not being open and everything. But I
yeah.
love it when there's just not it's a small mailing list, right? Because I like I like it kind of like when we started 2 years ago, just this intimate meetings, right? It's beautiful. But yeah, you know
Oh,
what? I'll take a look at it. Sorry, Corey. But the
no, that's
best way to message me to get, because you don't get the recordings anymore, right?
no.
Oh
And
wow.
when you go to the website,
Yeah.
you can't get them on the website.
Oh wow. Okay.
Just get um to register and then donate and then Zoom. But that's all.
That's all. Okay.
And you get the title of the next Sunday Zoom meeting. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but no recording.
Cecilia said, check the spam box. Maybe it's in your spam.
No, not in the spam
Not in a
either.
spam. Oh, wow.
No.
Okay, I'll take a look at it, Corey. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
and
letting me
yeah,
know.
that's okay. It'd be
Okay.
nice to get them. Thank you.
But I'll send the last event to you, kind of like directly, right? So that it's not in a group email.
Thank you. And just one more thing. So when you want to listen to the Sunday Zoom, do
Yeah.
you have to put your email address in the red where it says register each time?
You're in that list already, so you're okay.
You don't have to do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
How's your son and your daughter?
Oh, yeah. Daughter's wonderful. She's just been like an angel looking after me.
Oh, good.
Fantastic, which is
Good.
wonderful. Son, oh, he just loved last weekend to join the meeting. And yes, yeah, he's going to contact you every time. And just tonight on the phone, oh, I said I'm going to watch Emerson tonight, Sunday night. You're going to join. Oh, I really like that man. Yeah, he said, I'll try and join. But he never does. So, he never does. Well, he may do, but
That's why there's no free will or choice. You know what I'm saying? It just happens.
oh, I,
But say hi to him. Tell him that I said hi.
I will. I'll try.
Okay.
I will. But
all right.
yeah, he's always happy. So happy to get your messages.
Oh,
But he
thank you.
doesn't seem to initiate,
No
coming back.
worries. Yeah.
But Yeah, it's
Thank you,
pretty
Coach.
stressed.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, love to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Oh, Rosa. Hello, Rosa. Boom.
Good morning, Emmy.
Good
Boom.
Boom.
Sweetheart, what a joy. This is so beautiful.
Oh, thank
Always
you.
when you say boom, this is you're like, yes.
I didn't even know you were here. I'm like, oh, Rosa's here. Boom. That was for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is so beautiful. I simply love seeing this smiling face there.
Oh, thank you.
And what a beauty. What a beauty. What a joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Mwah. Doesn't your family brothers want to dissolve the I? There's no I to dissolve. There's no I to dissolve, right? So it's already what it is. There's no I to dissolve. That's the conundrum, right? That there is that what propels the seeking is that it thinks that there's something that needs to happen. What is seen here is perfection already. It's perfection already. It's already what it is, right? So I don't see eyes, you know what I'm saying, with my family or brothers. It's just what is, right? And everything is already as it is, right? So this is not a preacher or a teacher that tries to change somebody, tries to find faults or correct people and everything, right? It cheers at the immediacy of what already is. But if there is, like if one of my family can like tell me that, oh, Emerson, I got stuck in non-duality, that kind of thing. I'm listening to this and I can't seem to figure it. Of course, there's also going to be a speaking about this, that there's no such thing as non-duality. Yeah. So there's no I to dissolve. It's already whatever it is. It's just in the idea that there's an I or a no I. It's just an opposite again, right? So it's just another concept. So what's being expressed here is although this will sound like a concept, is free of that, right? Free of correction, free of, it's just what is. When I was a spiritual teacher, I wanted to dissolve their egos. That's a different story. But those days are gone. Congratulations on the 2 years of your YouTube channel. What's the difference from before and now? Not really. Somehow there's this love and passion that's just booming, right? It's always booming. It's just yeah, I saw on my YouTube kind of like thing that it you know, they reminded me that it's 2 years and everything. It doesn't even feel like it, to be honest, right? There's the love for doing this and passion that I don't know where it's coming from. And just the friendships, right, that I see here, the beautiful people that I see, right? It's just yeah, that's what is. Rosa.
Sweetheart, I'm following you and very intense so. And this is really always fresh and new. And oh, wow, it's just simply speechless.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I love it. I still love
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. This directness, this openness, this brutal honesty, this joy, full on joy. This is so beautiful, Emmy. This is really chapeau. You're learning French, chérie?
Shuffle, yeah. Um, I actually, you know what? I had a an app called Duolingo, right? So it's really funny,
Cool.
right? So
Great,
I went to
great.
Montreal, but because I was meeting with Americans, I forgot about the French. So when I finally met my French friends, all I could say is "Comment ça
Ollie
va?"
and Michelle.
Ollie and
Ollie and
Michelle,
Michelle.
yeah. It was fun, right? Because when I went there, there was no meeting, there was no whatever. We just had a good time, right? And that's
Yes,
what I love
sure.
about this communication because there is no barriers, there's no hierarchies, right? We're
Yeah,
friends, and that's
yeah,
basic. And you know what? There's no higher, there's no lower. It's just
yeah.
what is, right? So there's no one on a
Beautiful.
pedestal, and
Yeah,
it's
beautiful.
just beautiful, right? Because this character was used to that idea that someone was an authority, someone was someone knows and everything. So this dissolves any kind of gatekeeping, any kind of thing. So the freedom here is the freedom that's there because there's no here and there's just freedom. And
So,
a
so
lot of eating. We Michelle and
like,
Ollie and I and Milena too.
beautiful. And Michelle said he hugged you from me, sweetheart. I said to
Oh.
him, hug Emmy so hard that he could not breathe anymore. But sweetheart, what's beautiful? It's like it's simply the music. Like I simply love this music channel here for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah,
And as long as you love a music channel, which is
yeah,
called coaching, teaching, I
yeah,
will want to get something here. Here you are,
yeah,
get it, do this. This is perfection
yeah.
already.
It's like MTV.
Nothing wrong. Yeah. It's so great. But this is so free, so beautiful, such a beauty. And yeah,
Yeah.
boom, just this.
Boom.
Enjoy.
You mentioned in one of your meetings, a question, you mentioned in one of your meetings that your parents think that you're in love with someone. Yeah, because the character before was so full of drama, right? It was always correcting, it was always judging, and I was on a spiritual pedestal, right? So, I would look at what they're eating, and there was just for someone that was teaching, peace, love, and freedom. I didn't have any of those. I was always judgmental. Now that there's nothing to be thought, then everything is just peace, love, and freedom, right? So there's just this in loveness, right? So it's just it just sees what it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's funny, right? They're like, there must be a special someone. I'm like, there's contentment here. Oh. Hi, Emerson. Thank you so much for doing this meeting. I wrote something here that you said earlier. If you can further explain it, you said in your intro, life according to an illusory self often leads to discontent. Did I say that? um, yeah. You know what? When the character thinks that that life is its own kind of like um its own definition, its own meaning, its own interpretation, it's in control of it, then always leads to some form of discontent, right? Because there's always going to be a judgment or a comparison. There's always going to be, again, a chasing of a pleasure in life and everything, right? So, but life is just not pleasure, it's also pain. It's both, it's everything, but there's not even a life if you really, really look at it. There's not even a duality. what seems to appear in this so-called life can appear as painful, can appear as peaceful, can appear as happy, can appear as sad, right? But all of the appearance comes and go, and there's just this isness that cannot be figured out, that will never be figured out. This mystery that seems to be permanent, something that never moves. Yet there is this seeming contradiction, seeming opposites that appear, which is also what is, by the way, right? So meaning that when there is just this almost like a hands-free seeing that life is just what it is, there's not even a life, to be honest with you, it's just what seems to appear, then there's no more there's a contentment seemingly, because there's not wanting to change or try to manipulate it. It's just what is. Yes, we're going to chat soon, brother. Thank you for coming. As Rosa says, always fresh and new, yet progress appearing. Appears like 2 years progress from here, maybe needed to go back 2 years and listen. Seemingly, yeah, but that same passion from that 2 years ago is the same passion. That love is the same love. That peace is the same peace, right? And it's just what seems to appear as progress, seems to appear as whatever, but yeah, thank you. Maria. Hello, Maria.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just experiencing, like, I think in my spiritual seeking, there's always been this sense of like moving away from stuff. And this it's just like, it just feels very like moving almost towards, but that's not right either. But like that, like before the thought can, like, so a thought arises, and then it's kind of like just like resting into that rather than like going on to the next. I don't know, anyway.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. But there's no prior and there's no after as well, right? So trying to look for a prior is just another thought.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, people get confused. They look for the prior, right? But that's just another seeking.
Right.
Yeah. So
yes,
prior,
exactly.
so even if you say that prior to thoughts, when there's no thoughts, is still a thought.
God, that's a real sneaky
deal. Again, there's no getting out. There's a tendency, I guess, right, to create something real out of the unreal, right? Or to create an opposite, right? So the tendency is to, like, for example, you'll say prior to thought, right? So then you all of a sudden made something real, like, oh, everything is reality in prior to thought, right? So even if you see absence of thoughts, it's just another thing, right? So there's no way around it, right? So the moment that you come up with something, that's why I don't really engage in debates and stuff, like, whatever, because it's just a whole bunch of flinging thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, when this it's unfathomable. It's you can't write it down. You can't even think about it, right? Because it already is. Although thoughts may appear in writing and debates and that kind of stuff like that, right? But that just reinforces duality that does not exist, by the way.
Yeah, and the prior to thoughts thought is just such a fucker, because
It is.
it's like, oh well, if there's something prior to thought, but then that's the thought, so there's nothing prior to thought because everything is thought and nothing is thought, so you're just fucked. And you're like,
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really simple, right? When it's seen that it's all in an illusion, including the seer.
yeah,
Because it
not
makes
as a
the observer real, right? It makes someone real. Like, for example, if someone says, well, this is prior to thought that I'm talking about. No, that's just another thought.
oh yeah. There's just not anymore. Like, I don't
And
need
there's
to
not even a
convince.
thought, really. There's not even a thought, right? So it's, again, it's trying to make something different when it's all just the same, right? It's all an illusion. And then someone will say, well, how about this? Like, but that's still an illusion, right? Because everything that you come up with is an illusion. Everything that has ever come up with is an illusion. Meaning that no one's got this.
And everyone is.
And everyone is it. Yeah. And nothing is it. That's the danger, right? When all of a sudden there's an authority figure, or it goes underground and you think now that you're the authority figure.
Yeah, that's when I get angry and try to convince
That's
people.
right. Then you think that you're right and then someone is wrong, and that's the thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
It's okay to think something's wrong and something's right. There's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what is, right? But when there is a trying to correct, it is what it is. You might not agree with it, but it is what it is. Or you might agree with it. It is what it is as well.
Yeah, it's just, there's this aggression in this character to like also towards myself, this like just like fucking get it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
To like forward to that part and be like, honey, you're it too. Like,
yeah,
you know?
it's everything is it and there's no it. Which is kind of like, what? It's just again, it's just mind-blowing that there's no mind. And everything that we come up is mind stuff. It's ironic, right? There's no mind.
But when you say all that we have,
but all that we have basically is coming from a seeming mind, right? But if you go back to it, there's no mind. Where's the source?
And you don't mean that there's no brain, although there isn't a brain either, I guess.
There's not a brain either, yeah. There's not even a you, right? In the relative, in the appearance of this illusion, right? There is going to be everything that you can name and everything, right? But that goes zap, zilch, nada, when there is no ideas about it. In the absence of ideas, there's nothing. There's also everything. But you can't you can't grasp it, right? It's something that is incomprehensible because it's everything.
Which is so funny because I guess at the core, that's what the character wants, is to be everything.
But exactly. So the character does not exist, so it hides behind whatever it can hold on to.
Yeah.
So if it holds on to a thought, then it hides behind that. If it holds on to a belief system, it hides behind that, right? But if you look at what's behind this, it's just a thought, and the thought is you. So everything that you come up with is just another, it's another diversion, so to speak. It's almost like the moment that you appear, it almost kind of like cracks, it separates, it creates this separation when there's no separation. So that separation is illusory. When there's no thought, there's nothing thinking happening, or when you're in a coma, or when you're blacked out, there's no such thing as anything. It's just what is. Or deep sleep. It's the same thing
Wow.
as like when you collapse a dream, for example. When you see a dream, for example, the dream, there's an assumption that everything, you don't question it whatsoever, right? But the moment that you wake up, everything that you dreamt about is irrelevant because it never even happened. So that's the same as a thought. A thought appears and it feels real. You're like, oh my goodness, you know what? But it also collapses. You're like, oh. Kind of like what you asked on Friday, right? You're like, oh, you're going to be mad at me, Emerson. And I'm like, I'm not. When you mentioned about the inquiry and everything, that's it too. It's just the assumption, right?
Yeah, but there's much more of a feeling of freedom around it for me now.
Yeah.
Because I'm working with people, it's just like play.
It is just
Actually.
play. Yeah, it is just play. So what? So what? So what? Right? It's so funny, right? You know what? This apparent liberation, and everybody becomes so serious about defending themselves, defending, a communication or whatever seems to appear, right? When there's just this freedom to kind of like, that's it too. Why not? Right?
Yeah, I'm
There's
good.
nothing wrong or right. So mean it, I mean it when I say there's nothing wrong or right.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people and
You'll notice that some people will say there's nothing wrong or right, but this is wrong, But there's also nothing wrong or right. Yeah, with that, judgment. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Emerson. I really enjoy your long 2-day or 3-day or 4-day. Are you going to have them soon? There are no plans yet. Sorry. I'll let you know. But sometimes there's this kind of like, you know what? There's this passion. There's like, maybe because I'm doing like 2 meetings on Sundays and Fridays now. So, but it might come up again. Who knows, right? Or it might not. I don't know. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy those long formats. I really, really enjoy them. Yeah. They're quite fun. Actually, there is a Discord channel, but I just forgot about it. That'll be fun, actually. But yeah. Rosa, hello.
Emmy,
Yeah.
can you say something about the need to understand and how this simply can just stop for no reason?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Wait, and here with with you.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is so beautiful. That's why I listen to your music channel the most.
Yeah.
Because this was so unconditionally.
Yeah.
So lovingly, unconditionally, like everything is it already, no matter what.
Yeah.
The need to understand, not understand, no matter what. And this is so beautiful. And then this drive to understand something simply melts very,
Yeah.
very innocently, very naturally so. Because there is no problem with anymore with the need to know, call it searching, whatsoever, call it me, contracted energy. This is so, maybe just to talk about this a bit.
Yeah, I like that. When the opposites seem to, you know what, when there's no more holding on to, everything melts. There's no more solidity. There's no more positions, because it's just another position, right? So you know, it's not about eliminating or dissolving the I or the me that was never there. It's the melting away into love, melting away into peace,
So
melting away.
beautiful. Like
Yeah,
when Maria was talking from time to time, she mentions like just this melting into the
yeah,
emotion, the whatsoever. This
yeah,
was the practice I did.
yeah,
I simply loved my triggers to death, if you like. So,
yeah,
and this was so beautiful because in this melting in what was not okay, what you wanted to reject, I simply turned the thing like, okay, come
yeah,
on. So this is a two. While listening to your message, this is a two. This is
yeah,
a two, and
yeah,
then there was no difference anymore. And
yeah,
this I like, and this I don't like, and this is right, and this is wrong,
yeah.
and yeah,
And that's what is, right? That's what is. It's the you know, when there is pain, that's it. When there's pleasure,
Mhm.
that's it, right? It's not trying to get rid of it or trying to maintain it, right? So because it just creates this opposite. Pain is it.
and the opposite is a two.
The
There,
opposite
nothing
is
is
it too.
excluded.
That's right.
Every
Yeah.
thought is it. Every single as you.
Everything is it. Yeah.
This
Even
is
the
this is
yeah,
you
you
cannot. No escape. No
no
escape.
escape, no escape. And that's what's beautiful about it, because there's no one
Yeah.
to escape.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if there is someone, well,
That's it
this is
too.
it too.
That's it too. Yeah,
There is
that's it
really
too.
nothing
That's
wrong
it
with
too.
this.
And I think that's what I've been saying from the very beginning, right? Everything is
Yeah.
it already what it is,
Yeah.
over and over and over again. There might
Yeah.
be some blunt statements, you know, that there is simply not two already, right? But even if you think that there's two, that's it too.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
again, right? You know what? The character was so used to correcting, right?
Yeah.
But correcting is also it, but it's also not necessary anymore to put anyone down or anything down, right? So there's just a melting into this.
Well, no choice in this. Everything is it.
That's right.
And it's simply how the bloody cookie crumbles.
That's right. Yeah. Beautiful.
I love it. Oh, Emmy, I just love you. What a
Oh,
joy.
love you too. Love you too. Mwah. Thank you. Hi, Emerson. I was hoping that you would have had a celebration for your 2 years, like a one-day event or something. I didn't even know about it, you know. I just got reminded online. So I don't really pay attention. I kind of knew that it was less than 2 years, but you know, when you have your, you know, your email reminders, I'm like, oh, it's 2 years. Apparently, you know, I don't even really care about the subscribers, you know, how many subscribers or no subscribers, right? It's just what is. It's just something that appeared. So, but thank you. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I forgot about it. Hey Stan.
Hey, Emerson.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good.
I just wanted to say, I really had, since we met, after we met, I think I had about 2, 3 weeks where I was very, you know, it's like I didn't want to, I can't even talk about it. I was just like, so like, you know, like like there was a noise and the noise stopped.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, oh, and yeah. So
Yeah.
and it was just like, you know, sometimes some people say it's not worth mentioning. You don't want to mention it. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, I was just so thankful and just like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And it seems like this quiet is not exactly the same now, but I also know it's not true. I'm also like,
Yeah.
don't make a big story out of it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I also thought, oh, maybe I contact you again. We have another session, but I thought, no, maybe you don't do that. Maybe just let it sit, let it rest like that.
Yeah.
And
that's it too. Yeah, contacting or
yeah,
not
and I
contacting.
love
It
what
is.
was said just before. It's also like to reverse thing again, like everything is it, and just to quickly feel that
Yeah.
and yeah. And yeah, even now I feel like it's funny. I mean, I'm a bit tired. I had been playing tennis.
Were you
It's late.
dancing all night again, Stan?
You know, anyway, I think I still think I can play tennis, but yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. I can see also the character who has all those things happening to him, and not trying to make too much of a fuss about it. Because it's funny, you know, in a meeting
It's
like
all
that,
right.
how we talk, you know, it's not easy to talk in this meeting because, yeah, it's, yeah, I I don't know, maybe because I feel a bit exposed or something.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also my mechanism. I think when I'm exposed, there's a part of me who's trying to, I don't know, maybe that's an old practice habit of like going to sleep or something or shut down.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's it
And
too.
yeah, yeah. No, anyway, anyway, so I get a bit shy. I get a bit shy.
Yeah. Isn't it beautiful though? Even that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because that's also one thing I've been reflecting on recently is how much energy the character spends on trying to be perfect and to present
Yeah.
such self, you know, and to see also to present my embarrassed self and scared and you know and it's very interesting. Actually, I had a very different dream one night. It was such a different experience of dreaming, and in that dream, it's almost like I was taken to many emotions. It's almost like you know something was telling me, um, go more for your emotion. Let your emotion flow more. All kinds of emotion.
Mhm.
And yeah. So anyway, I don't want to project or anything, but I know things are moving quite deeply. I can see the kind of dreams I have, and
Oh yeah.
anyway, you don't want to. I don't want to. You know, look for special results.
No. It is whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Stan.
Okay. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. someone someone commented here 2-3 weeks. I want that. What's 2 weeks? What's 3 weeks? It's just
Yeah. Just to say because you know it's almost like can't be that good. So you know I would and then I would check. Oh, it's still here. It's like and I would wake up in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Still here. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never not here. It's always here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been the most beautiful 2 years. Although there's no 2 years that happened, it's just this. And so grateful. This is such a I love this meetings. And thank you for saying hi and showing up, and just really, really grateful. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll see you guys next Friday and Sunday. Mwah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And
Bye-bye.
there is a breakout room, but I have to run, and because my nephew, I want to say hi to my nephew.
Thanks, Emerson.
Bye, Regina. Oh, hi, Bob. Hi, Axel. Hi, everyone.
Happy
Sis.
Paddy.
Bye.
Hello.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Emerson.
Thank you.